Hey everybody, thanks for joining this week. Just a reminder, if you've been following along, or maybe this is your first time following along, if you're on YouTube, would you hit the subscribe button? That way you can see fresh content when it comes out there. Or if you're following along on Instagram and you're seeing us on Instagram, follow us if you're not, or if you have a friend watching with you, have them follow along. It's at CCC Merge. And you and they can see fresh content when it becomes available, and that'll help you to be able to engage with this content as well. I've been here for long enough to have filled out a few of some of your school service hour papers. Why is it that you serve? Have you ever thought about that for a moment? Maybe you mostly serve just because you want to get school credit, and I get it. It's part of your school curriculum and you want to get through school, so I get why you do it. But serving is something that we're mostly trained to do, if you think about it, in order to get something from it. We serve in order to get something back. It's very much like this exchange kind of thing. That something we get back could be just personal satisfaction, or it could be that we actually do benefit other people in some form or fashion. Or it may just be that we get credit for school, right? We serve and we get the credit back for school. Or maybe it's social perception, right? You serve so that others know that you're not a bad person, that you're not this evil person, but someone who actually does good in the world. Or maybe you do it to avoid negative things, right? Maybe you serve your parents because you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to be grounded or have them pester you to get things done around the house that serve the benefit of your household. If you're watching this on Instagram, would you indicate in the comment section below which way you're tempted to get something from serving others? It's not that you necessarily do this all the time, but maybe you just feel pulled in this direction sometimes. If personal satisfaction is something that you're tempted to get from serving people, just put a number 1 in the comment section. I'll know that's what you're talking about. Or if you are tempted or pulled toward benefiting other people by your serving, put a number 2. Or if you tend to serve to get credit for something, put a number 3. Or if you tend to just want social credit for serving other people, that's a direction you're pulled toward, put a number 4. Or if you try to avoid negative consequences like being grounded or pestered by your parents, put number 5 in the comments. I look forward to seeing your comments and seeing which ways you're tempted to serve other people. I think often I serve people out of the temptation to get social credit, for people to not think negatively of me. The reality is we're very much shaped to serve out of a sense of doing and receiving. We do things in order to receive. We're very much shaped to be those kinds of people. In a philosophical sense, we are utilitarian in our serving. Now you may be like, I've never heard of the word utilitarian. Well, your parents probably pay for utilities, right? Maybe that's water, maybe it's gas, maybe it's electricity. Those are all utilities, right? And your parents pay money to companies so that they get water or gas or electricity in return, right? There's an exchange that goes on. And so that's often how our serving is too, right? We do things in order to get things back. Our service to others is often like that. We give of ourselves and we get fill in the blank in return. Interestingly, the Bible reminds us that Jesus serves for a very different reason. Jesus doesn't serve to get something. He serves because that's just who God is. Serving is part of God's identity. The Apostle Peter in 1 Peter 4 verses 10 through 11 teaches us this. There we encounter these words. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen. Notice that it's out of who God is, out of God's grace, that each person is gifted to serve others. God serves his followers by equipping each person with a gift to help them serve other people. Serving others is just what God does. That's what his grace is all about. But notice, God's service is not always received by others. There may be a point in your life where God was giving towards you, but you didn't receive that in return. There wasn't an exchange between you and God. Because not all people receive God's grace, but God gives it anyway. But it's not, even though it's not returned, God still gives it. God just serves because that's what God does. Peter is writing here to followers of Jesus. And as followers of Jesus, these followers of Jesus were often disregarded in this day and age. And it's easy to see that these followers of Jesus would have been discouraged from even wanting to serve other people. I mean, if they're going to be disregarded, why would someone want to serve another person? But Peter reminds these followers of Jesus that they serve not because they get something back, but because that's what followers of Jesus do. Followers of Jesus serve because God serves. Catch that. Followers of Jesus serve because God serves. If we're following after Jesus, we're to just do what Jesus already does. It's just out of his character, out of who he is. And as we follow Jesus, that becomes who we are. We serve just because we allow Christ to change us to be those kinds of people. But I get it, right? It can be difficult to serve in times where you don't get anything in return. But God has equipped each of his baptized followers with a gift to serve others without getting anything in return. And we're called to use those gifts in ways that serve other people. Whether it's the things we say or it's the ways that we benefit others by the strength and abilities that God has given us. Today, I ask you to think about or reflect on, how is God's Spirit prompting you to serve? How is he prompting you to serve today, this week, just during this quarantine time in general? Who is he asking you to serve? Maybe it's your siblings, or maybe it's your parents, or it's those older than you, or those less fortunate than you. How is God speaking to you to serve them? Because followers of Jesus serve because God serves. Followers of Jesus serve because God serves. I look forward to hearing your comments in the comments section, and I'll see you next time.